Real life in Bangladesh, the dirtiest country in the world, mother and daughter marry the same man. Welcome back to Discovery Fact. My friend, have you ever heard of Bangladesh, a country that many people call the poorest and dirtiest in the world? Did you know that behind those rumors lies a nation filled with strange and almost unbelievable stories? A place where mothers and daughters share the same husband, where child widows are relatively common, and where traffic is so severely congested that traffic lights barely serve any purpose. There are even communities where 4 generations have lived without a single person having fingerprints. Can you believe that? This is not a story from a movie or a mysterious novel. It is reality unfolding in Bangladesh, a country with circumstances so unusual they are hard to imagine. Today, I invite you to join me as we uncover the harsh truths about this nation in our video. Real life in Bangladesh, the dirtiest country in the world. So what are these truths? Let's find out right now. 2,000 passengers packed onto a single train. You would probably be shocked to the core witnessing scenes like these, wouldn't you? In mid-March, documentary filmmaker Yusuf Tushar took a special journey in Dhaka, capturing startling moments of everyday life on trains in the capital of Bangladesh. Morning and evening trains are overcrowded to an alarming degree, with thousands of passengers struggling and pushing just to secure a seat. To board the train, many people do not hesitate to take serious risks by climbing onto the roof, a dangerous act, yet often an unavoidable choice if they want a spot amid such extreme congestion. Filmmaker Yusuf Tushar also noted that mornings and evenings are the peak hours for train travel. This is when local residents rush to work and return home. Everyone wants a seat, so they are willing to accept any available space they can find. Bangladesh's railway network stretches approximately 1,864 miles and serves more than 65 million passengers each year. However, traffic management within the system is quite loose, with trains operating at an average speed of only about 27 miles per hour. During major holidays, passenger numbers increase significantly, and the chaos becomes even more evident. More children can also be seen on trains during these periods, making the situation feel even more crowded and tense. After seeing these images, many people may reconsider their decision to visit Bangladesh and choose trains as their mode of transportation, especially when the scenes of disorder and struggle at the stations are clearly revealed through Yusuf Tushar's footage. These scenes could understandably make you hesitant about traveling to Bangladesh and experiencing the country's transportation system firsthand. As for me, after watching this footage, I would stop right here and choose a safer destination instead. Perhaps spending that money on a trip to Singapore or somewhere else with a more efficient transportation system would be a more reasonable choice. Child marriage is a trend. It may be hard to believe, but this situation is entirely real, and it is truly terrible. Bangladesh is one of the countries with the highest rates of child marriage in the world, with 1/3 of brides entering their husbands' homes at an extremely young age. This has made Bangladesh the country with one of the largest numbers of child brides globally. According to data from UNICEF, nearly 1/3 of girls in Bangladesh are married before the age of 15, a shocking and deeply concerning figure. Imagine a girl at that age who should be enjoying a vibrant youth and discovering the world, instead having to shoulder the responsibilities of a family. They are forced to give up their childhood to become brides, often facing social isolation from their own families and friends after moving into their husbands' homes. At the same time, they have little to no opportunity to continue their education or develop personally. The reasons behind this are rooted in economic hardship and social attitudes. In the view of many impoverished families in Bangladesh, women are often not valued as income earners compared to men. As a result, marrying off young daughters is seen as the best way to reduce the family's financial burden and avoid the cost of raising them any longer. This is a deeply saddening reality that reflects severe gender discrimination and entrenched social prejudice. When girls are forced to leave their families, friendships, and education at such an early age, they are deprived of the opportunity to grow and build a better future. Meanwhile, society often justifies this situation by pointing to poverty or cultural traditions rather than confronting and addressing the issue from the perspective of human rights and social equality. This is truly a heartbreaking reality, isn't it? Let us sincerely hope that our country will never face a situation like this. A mother and daughter marry the same man. Strange, isn't it? It may sound unbelievable, but this custom has indeed existed in Bangladesh. It is not widespread across the entire country. Rather, it exists within a small tribe known as the Mandi. According to the traditions of this tribe, when a widow wishes to remarry, there is a special condition. She must choose a man from her late husband's clan in order to preserve the family alliance. That alone may already seem like an unusual rule. However, what is even more striking is that the men selected are often much younger than the widow. To address this age gap, the widow is required to offer one of her daughters as a second bride to the man she remarries. This three-person marriage arrangement could truly be described as both ironic and tragic. It is both intriguing and heartbreaking to imagine the emotions of the daughters in such a situation. Do they feel resentment and fight to escape this custom, or do they accept their fate and live willingly alongside the man, together with their own mother? These are difficult questions to answer because we cannot truly know their innermost thoughts. In more developed societies, this custom would certainly not be accepted, especially when considering human rights and individual freedom. Requiring a young woman to live with a man chosen by her mother is a serious violation of her right to self-determination. From a modern cultural and social perspective, this is likely a practice that cannot be justified. And of course, in more developed countries like ours, this is probably a custom you would never be able to accept, wouldn't you? Eating with your hands in one-of-a-kind dishes. In Bangladesh, traditional meals are quite unusual, but unusual in a very distinctive way. A new day in Bangladesh begins with breakfast around 8 a.m., and a signature dish is rice soaked in water and lightly fermented, called panta. Another option is puffed rice known as muri. What's special is that lunch is not eaten at the typical midday hour like in many other countries, but instead is served at 2 p.m. Lunch mainly consists of dishes that are finely chopped and cooked until very soft, such as dal, a traditional lentil stew simmered until tender. Dinner in Bangladesh is even more different, as people eat rice served with milk at 11 p.m. With such a late mealtime, you might have to take a few extra naps before you're ready to enjoy it. Similar to India, meals in Bangladesh are eaten without chopsticks or spoons. Instead, people use their hands. On the table, you'll usually find rice or chapati flatbread served with a bowl of curry. If it's rice, you simply mix it with the curry, gather it with your fingers, and bring it to your mouth. If it's chapati, you dip it into the curry much like you would dip bread into a rich stew. Most dishes are chopped into small pieces and simmered until soft. They may be shaped into small balls or placed directly on a plate so they can easily be mixed with rice and picked up by hand. The country is also famous for a chili pepper called bhut jolokia. This pepper is ranked among the hottest in the world, measuring over 1 million SHU, Scoville heat units, about 100 times hotter than a bell pepper, which ranges from 0 to 100 SHU. To help you imagine it, eating a bhut jolokia can feel as intense as eating around 100,000 bell peppers. And of course, hot peppers are bright red. If you visit Bangladesh during harvest season, you'll be overwhelmed by the striking red landscapes of chili farms, which produce about 3,000 tons of red chilies each year. Surprised yet? But the unique and unusual things about Bangladesh don't stop there. What comes next just might surprise you even more. A 4-generation family without fingerprints. What would it be like to live without fingerprints in this modern era when almost every legal procedure requires them? You probably can't imagine it. And you may not think that there are families in this world who completely lack fingerprints. But this has truly happened to the 4-generation Sarkar family in Bangladesh. From Rajshahi district in northern Bangladesh, the men in the Sarkar family suffer from an extremely rare condition in which they are born with completely smooth fingertips. No fingerprints at all. While the absence of fingerprints may not have been a major issue in the past, today, when fingerprints are widely used for identification and verification, it has become a serious challenge. One of the first problems they encountered was being unable to obtain driver's licenses. Even after passing all required tests and paying the necessary fees, they were denied licenses because they could not provide fingerprints, a mandatory requirement in the licensing process. Another issue involves purchasing SIM cards for mobile phones. The Bangladeshi government requires fingerprint verification against the national database when buying a SIM card. As a result, members of the Sarkar family cannot register SIM cards under their own names, creating significant difficulties in communication and access to mobile services. So what causes their fingertips to lack fingerprints? The Sarkar family members are believed to have an extremely rare genetic condition called adermatoglyphia. This condition was only formally recognized in 2007 when Swiss dermatologist Peter Eiten encountered a remarkable case. A young woman without fingerprints who experienced difficulties entering the United States. Although her face matched the photograph in her passport, her fingertips were completely smooth, preventing immigration officers from recording any fingerprints. Subsequent research revealed that the absence of fingerprints is caused by a mutation in the SMARCAD1 gene, often referred to as immigration delay disease because of the administrative and border control complications it creates. Adermatoglyphia does not cause any other serious health problems beyond the lack of fingerprints. Adermatoglyphia is an exceptionally rare condition, observed in only a handful of families worldwide. It just goes to show that although the world may seem small, extraordinary and mysterious conditions continue to emerge, reminding us how many unusual realities still exist around us. Floating schools. Creativity without end. In Bangladesh, where as much as 1/5 of the country's land is flooded each year, a unique type of school was created to ensure that children's education is not interrupted by natural disasters. It may sound like something out of a miracle story, but in reality, a floating school model has been implemented to help thousands of children continue accessing education even when floodwaters cover everything around them. The idea originated with architect and entrepreneur Mohammad Rizwan. This network of boats is known as Shidhulai Swanarvar Sangsta. With a vision of bringing education to hard-to-reach areas, Rizwan developed a fleet of boats that serve both as transportation and as mobile classrooms. These boats not only carry students ages 6 to 10 to school, but also function as fully operational classrooms right on the water. Each boat is more than 52 feet long and more than 10 feet wide with a capacity of about 30 people. They are modeled after traditional Bangladeshi wooden boats but upgraded to withstand harsh water conditions. The decks and roofs are built higher and constructed with waterproof materials. They are also equipped with solar panels to provide electricity for electronic devices, allowing them to operate effectively even during heavy rains. These boats are not just classrooms. They serve multiple purposes, including libraries, computer labs, and play areas. Students are organized into groups of about 30 and study subjects such as Bengali, English, math, art, and computer science. The solar power systems onboard supply electricity to more than 100 internet-connected computers, and the floating libraries are stocked with nearly 50,000 books and magazines. Currently, more than 1,800 children benefit directly from this floating school model. With 54 boats in operation, the system not only provides education but also functions as health clinics and internet access centers for approximately 97,000 people living in flood-affected areas. Bangladesh's floating schools are a powerful example of how innovation can overcome major challenges. They stand as clear proof that creativity and perseverance can make a meaningful difference in the lives of those facing difficult circumstances. It's fair to say that calling Bangladesh endlessly creative would not be an exaggeration, wouldn't you agree? The paradise of rivers. As I mentioned earlier, Bangladesh is a unique country in South Asia, well known for its extensive river system. It may be hard to imagine, but the country is home to as many as 700 different rivers. Major rivers such as the Jamuna, the Padma, also known as the Ganges in India, and the Meghna flow through the nation. These rivers not only shape a vital part of Bangladesh's natural landscape, but also play an essential role in the daily lives of its people. In the capital city of Dhaka, the Buriganga River, sometimes referred to as the Old Ganges, plays an especially important role in the city's transportation system and economy. Originally a branch of the Ganges, the Buriganga gradually became a separate river over time. With its constant movement and activity, it serves as the lifeline of Dhaka's transportation network. Throughout the day, the river is crowded with ferries carrying passengers and goods, as well as large cargo vessels loading and unloading shipments to and from nearby ports. However, with such a vast river network and a high population density, pollution has become a major challenge. Bangladesh's rivers, especially the Buriganga, frequently face severe contamination due to untreated industrial discharge and household waste being released directly into the water. Looking back at our own country, we also have many rivers. I may not be able to list them all, but I am certain the number would never compare to Bangladesh. And this overwhelming river density, combined with pollution challenges, is often cited as one of the reasons some people refer to Bangladesh as the dirtiest country in the world. 85% of the population is Muslim. Bangladesh, a country located in South Asia, is known for its rich cultural and religious identity. Approximately 85% of its population practices Islam. What is notable is that despite this strong Islamic presence, Bangladesh is recognized for having a relatively moderate Muslim community. This stands in clear contrast to neighboring countries such as Pakistan and Afghanistan, where extremist elements have at times contributed to tension and conflict. In Bangladesh, practicing Islam is generally not accompanied by the strict regulations seen in some other countries. For example, there is no nationwide requirement for women to cover their heads or wear traditional religious attire. People are generally free to choose how they dress and express themselves within the broader framework of social and religious norms. This level of flexibility contributes to a diverse and harmonious environment in which people coexist with mutual understanding. Although the majority of the population is Muslim, Bangladesh is by no means lacking in religious diversity. Other religious communities, including Hindus, Buddhists, and Christians, are also present and respected. The coexistence of different faiths forms an important part of the country's cultural landscape. This religious harmony has helped Bangladesh maintain a relatively stable and peaceful society, despite facing many developmental and economic challenges. Another noteworthy point is that with 85% of the population being Muslim, religious influence is also reflected in the country's culinary culture. Observing vegetarian practices during certain times of the year or on religious holidays is not uncommon. If you are looking for a place to explore new perspectives and gain a deeper understanding of life in a multi-religious society, Bangladesh is certainly a destination worth considering. A unique and unusual New Year tradition. When the New Year approaches, what do you usually do to prepare? Buy new clothes, clean the house, decorate your home. These are basic traditions that people in almost every country follow. And Bangladesh is no exception. In Bangladesh, Pohela Boishakh is one of the largest traditional festivals of the Bengali people. It is celebrated to welcome the new year according to the Bengali calendar, known as Shubho Noboborsho, on April 14th each year. Pohela Boishakh begins with lively and exciting activities such as bull races in Munchiganj, wrestling competitions in Chittagong, boat races, cockfighting, and pigeon racing. Families across Bangladesh also prepare for the holiday by cleaning and decorating their homes, as well as purchasing new clothes for the occasion. Another important part of the celebration is buying a panjika, a traditional almanac that records important dates and festivals for the year. The panjika helps families plan major events such as housewarmings, weddings, and annual celebrations. Similar to how Vietnamese families buy a yearly calendar to keep track of important dates and holidays. One especially distinctive feature of Pohela Boishakh is alpana decoration. Traditional patterns and designs are painted on floors and courtyards, creating a vibrant and festive atmosphere. This is a way for each family to express joy and warmly welcome the new year with freshness and optimism. Traditional dishes prepared for Pohela Boishakh include Eilish mak, hilsa fish, dokar dalna, rice, and chanar dal, all shared and enjoyed together as a family meal. In the evening, the celebration continues with parties, musical performances, dancing, and other entertainment activities. People immerse themselves in the festive spirit, creating a memorable and meaningful day to welcome the new year with happiness and excitement. With the many strange and unique characteristics that Bangladesh possesses, it cannot be denied that this country consistently offers visitors fascinating and surprising experiences. Despite its distinct culture, traditions, and social realities, Bangladesh remains an appealing destination. A place where every street corner and every story holds depth and a sense of wonder. The unusual aspects of Bangladesh are not only proof of its cultural diversity, but also an invitation for us to explore more about a country filled with potential and remarkable experiences. What about you? What impressed you most about this country? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss any other exciting discoveries from Discovery Fact. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.